You find out how you can have some people, they could be studying this stuff for 10 years. And then all of a sudden they just go, I just want to serve the Lord, and they go back into the church. You see what I'm saying? They've gone to all of Dr. Ben, all of John Henry Clark. They done went to the Moorish thing. They done went to the Nation of Islam. Then they went to different people in the metaphysics. And then all of a sudden they'll go, I just want to serve the Lord. And the next thing you know, they jumping over the church seats and stuff. Jumping, doing all crazy and shit. Why is that? It is because for this particular reason. Let me show you something. There's different frequencies on what we operate on. This is the Kabbalah. Now I want to get a chakra. Let's get a chakra book. I want to show this. Did they have C.W. Ledbetter chakra book? That's good, good. The Kabbalah is also the chakra system. You can do it on the Kabbalah, or you can do it on this one too. Let me explain this to you. Look at this. Here's the chakra systems. Just as you have different chakras, which is wheels of light, you have different intelligences or different frequencies of consciousness. The majority of the people on the planet, 99.9% of all the people on the planet, consciousness is in the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? Now that's a long way between here and there. You understand? In order, so if your consciousness is in 1, 2, 3 chakras, from the root to the navel chakra, it gives you a degree on how you have different personalities. But if your consciousness is not operating from the heart chakra on up, you can't get this stuff. That's why you can get a brother. The brother could not have heard anything. Can walk off the street, come in here and hear some knowledge for the first time, and he got it. And be a soldier, be serious about it. Then you can have a person, they can go to every damn meeting and still. They're still the same niggas they were in 1914. You see what I'm saying? Why is that? That's because the brother, because each one of you are born, or each one of you based on your life experiences, your energy goes up to the chakra based on your life experiences. Some of you are born with your heart chakra open. So based on the way that some of the people get it is based on your energy radiating from the heart chakra. So this is the difference why you can have some people that cannot get it at all, and some people that can. You can have some people, I mean, I was talking to this brother on the bus, and it wasn't because the brother was from the projects and none of this stuff or nothing like this. I believe this brother, I think this brother was he'd gone to college for like a year or two. But this brother was dumb as a stump. It's because the brother had gone through life and he hadn't thought of anything all his life. Everything was done for him. So now the brother 22. You see, and all of a sudden 22 years, you just can't say, well, I'm just going to start using my brains to think. You see what I'm saying? So everything that he got was from some composite of what he saw on TV or something somebody told him. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't think of the brother couldn't get anything. Well, that's one thing based on that, your brain, but also it's based on, you can have the most intellectual people. I mean, they can have PhDs. They could have gone to school for the last 30 years, and they cannot get this. They cannot get it. You see what I'm saying? That's because their consciousness level is below the heart chakra. It's down here. Most of the people's shit is in the root chakra. So what happens is that when you get this consciousness and you start preaching this consciousness, what will happen is that consciousness will bounce off of you. What it will do is this. That consciousness will literally, what it will do is, I can teach you, and this brother, it can get in here, because what happens is if it's not radiating above your heart chakra, it will come in and it will hit you and it'll bounce off where it will only sound like preaching, or it only sound like just like Michael Jackson concert. You know, you getting off and you getting a high, but ain't nothing sinking in. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing sinking in. So it will just keep bouncing off. Or if it's below the root chakra, some people will use the consciousness and they'll say, hey, I can use this to make money off of and get over on people. So they'll get it. They'll learn what they need to learn just to pump somebody up. And then they'll start them a little group. You understand what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, you'll be giving your welfare checks to people. You see what I'm saying? Then you will get another type of people. They will get the knowledge, and they won't be getting over on people, but their arrogance. They'll use it each time to boost their arrogance. That's right. So you'll get a brother that'll come into a thing, into a lecture, and he'll spend 2 hours talking about himself. Case in point. Anybody ever saw Leonard Jeffries tape? Leonard Jeffries, I remember this because Leonard Jeffries used to could come in, and I'd be damn, I said, man, brother was like, when I first heard Leonard Jeffers, brother said, you need to get some Leonard Jeffers. So I got some Leonard Jeffers. I'm ready to get pumped up. Got the tape. And I looked, it was an hour, and he was still talking about himself. I had a $1 million white boy education. I got this kind of, I was like, what the hell? So it will work. It'll automatically work on a mundane, social, political, economic thing that will never transform into nothing spiritual. That's because their energy is below the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? And so below the heart chakra. So this is what you got with a lot of your scholars. They're so left-brained until everything has to compute into a psychological, intellectual type of thing, whereas they are not really interested in spiritual evolution. They're only interested in being right for the white boy, or even sounding correct. So this is the reason why some people can't get it. I'm saying this for one reason. The times where you just go out and you just say, well, I just got to go out here and I just got to teach every brother. And like I say, that's why you go out here and you teach these people and they beat you up and they beat you up, and after a while you get tired of it. The next thing you be saying, oh, that old nigga, they ain't shit. You know, he'll Uncle Tom and he'll sell out. No, you could have got one of the people that probably had less circumstances than them, and you can get a person that's got $1 million. Could have been rich all their life, and they could have heard this one time and be down with it. Because it ain't got nothing to do with economics. It's got something to do with where you vibrating. Check. So this is real key that you understand these particular things, because this is the type of things, especially now, because we're a long time in this thing now for some people. You see, now all of a sudden you've seen all kind of people fall off from the path. You know what I'm saying? You've seen people in the early stages of this, they're back out in Buckhead. You understand what I'm saying? They're back out in Buckhead. Now I'm not saying anything wrong with that. What I'm trying to say is you can straddle both fishes. You can live out in Buckhead and work out in Buckhead and still be true to the farm, because it ain't about a person just hanging out in the hood either. You understand where I'm coming from? But you know what I'm talking about. You got some people that was in this thing, you see what I'm saying, and the next thing you know, boom. They like 5 years, they ain't heard it. They don't want to hear it no more. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's based on your consciousness. If your aura is strong, they can't penetrate. Now that is why it is key to somehow raise your vibratory rate, as if what I was saying, from the lower chakras. Well, this would be a high chakra, because that's it, because that would be the wrong thing. But like I said before, to raise your chakras to a great degree up to at least the heart chakra. Because see, what it means is this. Below the heart chakra, you're not really living, you're just dead. You understand what I'm saying? You're just energy walking around with programmed rote learning that's programmed when you was a child. And basically the children are spiritual. You know, they're walking around and acting, they're spiritual, and then all of a sudden you program in them to be zombies. You see what I'm saying? And that's because the ego takes over more and more. And in puberty, the ego sinks in. So what it is the ego is in this area under the heart chakra. It's pulsating from your root chakra. So by the ego being in your root chakra, this is the consciousness that you'll be in. The majority of the people who are not trying to raise it, or who do not have any thoughts towards nothing but just survival, they are pulsating from this chakra. So if their intelligence is down this much, that means that they are just literally zombies and they're not really living. So therefore, the actual walk-ins, the entities can come and take that body. You see what I'm saying? And walk in that body. So it's crucial that you try to get your frequency up to the heart chakra, also with thought. And you do it basically by basically turning away from one type of living where you are totally functional on the physical, and these two eyes, which is the chi, and the logical and the rational mind, and basically dealing with spiritual endeavors where you think about this stuff 24/7. Even when you're doing something else, you're thinking about it. You see what I'm saying? Hell, I watch TVs and I go to the movie too. But I'm conscious at all times. You see, and start pulsating from this on up. So now what is actually happening where we're talking about thousands upon thousands? They say damn near 85% of the earth down here is not damn near walk-ins, zombies, and can be used by other entities. So Adal-Labroth, what he did was, he knew he was losing the fight. He knew he was rising. So he said to keep some of those from rising, the ones who have not risen, but remember, it's only going to be a small clique anyway, so he still went into war. But we're just talking about the dead and what's happening to them now. To keep some of them from rising, we're going to send the angels that I have created. Basically, people in the whole cluster, in some element of the Pleiadian system, in some other star system is working with this renegade entity. They send them down to the earth, and they literally walk into the bodies. They literally walk into the bodies. And their main thing is to keep, and a walking is basically to keep a person focused on anything but consciousness. So therefore, you got people acting like fools, you got people more in the political structure, and you got people, and I'm telling you, there's literally, we dealing with two different worlds here. And it's a minute, small world. We only talking about a consciousness that's less than 1%. And we talking about, I don't know how the percentage thing go, but what's less than 1, or oh what? Point something. Shit, probably 0.2. Probably 0.2 if you think of all the people in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Probably 0.2 something of consciousness. Which is, but remember now, always bear in mind that the earth don't operate from the masses. The earth operates, let me show you this. The earth operates, and this is a good analysis to show you how the earth operates. The earth operates only, this is a book, I don't know, it might be out of print. I know I got it, I stole it a couple of weeks ago and it started falling apart. I think it was an old book that they had in the store a long time ago. Shit. I advise y'all not to do that.
Do not try this at home.
Do not try this at home. Because I be rolling with some spirit shit when I go up in there. And I'm literally invisible. Go through the beeper and all. Nothing beat. Sisters, none of that shit go off, but you got to know what you're doing to do that shit. I swear to God, I done detect it, I know how to do the shit. That shit go through the beeper, nothing beeper, none of that shit. But you got to know how to invoke. Y'all might go through that shit. Go, so I advise you not to try that stuff. The world is run from this point. So basically, all of this round here don't make a damn bit of difference if they get all of this. You understand what I'm saying? If they get all of this. But basically what I'm saying is the masses are basically now, they have sent those down there and they have been walk-ins. So even if they was dead in the 80s, some of those are still dead for the simple fact that some of them who even started thinking of consciousness, they literally got other entities in them now. I'm telling you, we are that far. Well, obviously we got to be that far. If we looking and we seeing some shit where, I mean, look. For this year, basically we can say from down all of 95 and all of 96 so far, we are literally living this thing. We seeing things with the weather going on and seeing the crackers act like a fool and everybody act like a fool. So if we are in the last days, then obviously these are the things that was also prophesied that would happen. You see what I'm saying? And they say they will come against Israel like no other. They was not only talking about the white man, they was also talking about the forces. Because those forces don't want us to take the throne back. You see, and they're working against it. So what they're doing is, for a lot of these people, they are just basically just coming in, and they're just coming in, and they are actually walking in. Now I'm not just talking about analysis. Everything I'm talking about experiences. Okay, I get one brother calls me. He breaking codes of the pyramid. He breaking stuff. The brother is on it. Next thing I know, it's a new person. This person now, this person is talking about the Lord Jesus Christ and all this, and he starts throwing up and all this here. They got it. They got it. They didn't do it with the clone thing. They walked in his body. Another brother from South Carolina I met, he was doing fine 2 weeks ago. He called, he said, man, I just got out the mental institution. I said, you say he was in there for 2 weeks. They came in and got in the body. So they can do these things, so you got to be careful, not to the simple fact of whatever, you just got to be on your game. Basically what it means is this. This is the key on the walk-in shit. If you ain't real, then it's best for you to just go back into society and try to be ignorant. Sometimes they don't mess with you for being ignorant because they figure you have no virtue in the first place. They say he's an idiot anyway, so ain't no need to walk in. But don't be straddling the fence. They're talking about the lukewarm. You can't be cold and hot on this shit. With this knowledge now, I'm telling you what I know. I've seen this thing with my own eyes. I saw it. I saw it last year. I went to speak with a sister. Sister was on it. This year, total new sister. Total new sister. Total sister. You see what I'm saying? They can walk in those bodies. So we talking about that kind of stuff going on. So, and they walk in based on your heart. Let me tell you how they do it also too. What they do is this. They'll come in and whisper shit in your ear and telling you thoughts or low thoughts to make you feel depressed, and you thinking it's your own thoughts. And one day you'll be up, the next day you'll be down. You don't even know. It'll be fucking entities in your shit, and you thinking it's your own thoughts. One day you just as happy as shit. And you know, I see this. One day I was sitting down at the TV, and for a couple of minutes I started feeling negative. And you ever get to a point you just start feeling negative, and then when you think about it, you don't even know what you're feeling negative about? You ever think, you say, oh shit, I'm in trouble about something. And then you weigh it, you start feeling worried. And then you think about it, you say, goddamn, I ain't got nothing to be worried about. Not to the point where as I don't have anything to be worried. You really can't find nothing that you were supposed to be worried about in the first place. That's the entities getting at you. You see what I'm saying?